you, Smiley. Smiley picked a flower for me. That was so nice of you, Smiley. Oh, you love me? I love you too, Smiley. Well, I really like that flower. Oh, it smells good and it's pretty. What? Oh, he says he wants to do it because it's almost Mother's Day. Well, that's nice of you, Smiley. I thought we could read some stories about family and about mothers. And I'm going to start out with a poem. It's a poem about what is a family. What is a family? Who is a family? One and another makes two is a family. Baby and father and mother, a family. Parents and sister and brother, a family. All kinds of people can make up a family. All kinds of mixtures can make up a family. What is a family? Who is a family? The children that lived in a shoe is a family. A pair, like a kanga and roo, is a family. A calf and a cow that go moo is a family. All kinds of creatures can make up a family. All kinds of numbers can make up a family. What is a family? Who is a family? Either a lot or a few is a family. But whether there's 10 or there's 2 in your family, all of your family plus you is a family. I have one more thing I want to read from this book, and it's kind of funny. Here is the mom and the little girl, and she says, "Pick up your room." "Pick up your room," my mother says. She says it every day. "My room's too heavy to pick up." That's what I always say. "Drink up your milk," she says to me. "Don't bubble like a clown." Of course, she knows I'll answer that I'd rather drink it down. And when she says at 8 o'clock, "You must go right to bed," we both repeat my answer. Why not go left instead? I think that one's kind of funny. But I have another story, and this one is kind of funny too, but it has such a fun ending. And we read a story on a different video by Frank Ash. This one is called Bread and Honey, and it's my favorite story about this bear. You say you like it too, Smiley? Oh, good. Bread and Honey by Frank Ash. One morning, when Ben was getting ready for school, his mother took a loaf of fresh bread out of the oven. "Can I have a piece?" asked Ben. "The bread is too hot now," said his mother, "but you can have some when you get home." "With honey on top?" asked Ben. "Yes," said his mother, "with lots of honey on top." "Okay," said Ben, and he hurried off to school. That day, Ben painted a picture of his mother. When the bell rang, he decided to take it home. On the way, he stopped to show the picture to Owl. "Oh, I love it," said Owl, "but you made the eyes too small." "I have my paint box with me," said Ben. "Maybe I can fix that." "Fine work," said Owl. At the river bank, Ben showed the picture to Alligator. "I just love it," said Alligator, "but the mouth needs to be much, much bigger. How's that? Asked Ben. Much better, said Alligator. A little way down the path, Ben met Rabbit and showed her the picture. "Ooh, I love it," said Rabbit, "but the ears are too short." "Oh, that's easy to fix," said Ben. "How's that?" asked Ben. "Wonderful," said Rabbit. When Ben showed Elephant his picture, Elephant said, "I love it, but the nose is too small." Once again, Ben took out his paints. "How's that?" asked Ben. "Unforgettable," said Elephant. Then Ben showed his picture to Lion. I love it," said Lion, "but you forgot a fluffy mane." "How's that?" asked Ben. "A picture to be proud of," said Lion. When Ben was almost home, he saw Giraffe and showed him his picture. "I just love it," said Giraffe, "but the neck is too short." "How's that?" asked Ben. "Perfect," said Giraffe. Ben ran the rest of the way home. When he got there, he said to his mother, "Look what I made, a picture of you." "I love it," said his mother. "Just the way it is?" asked Ben. "Just the way it is," said his mother, and she hung it on the refrigerator. Then she gave Ben a thick slice of homemade bread with lots of honey on top. Isn't that a fun story, Smiley? Yes. I have one more story today. And this one is called A Chair for My Mother. And it is by Vera Williams. My mother works as a waitress in the Blue Tile Diner. After school, sometimes I go to meet her there. Then her boss, Josephine, gives me a job too. I wash the salts and peppers and fill the ketchups. One time I peeled all the onions for the onion soup. When I finish, Josephine says, "Good work, honey," and pays me. And every time I put half of my money into the jar. It takes a long time to fill a jar this big. Every day when my mother comes home from work, I take down the jar. My mama empties all her change from tips out of her purse for me to count. Then we push all the coins into the jar. Sometimes my mama is laughing when she comes home from work. But sometimes she's so tired she falls asleep while I count the money out into piles. Some days she has lots of tips and some days she has only a little. Then she looks worried. But each evening, every single shiny coin goes into the jar. We sit in the kitchen to count the tips. Usually Grandma sits with us too. While we count, she likes to hum. Often she has money in her old leather wallet for us. Whenever she gets a good bargain on tomatoes or bananas or something she buys, she puts by the savings and they go into the jar. When we can't get a single other coin into the jar, we're going to take out all the money and go and buy a chair. Yes, a chair. A wonderful, beautiful, fat, soft armchair. We will get one covered in velvet with roses all over it. We are going to get the best chair in the whole world. That is because our old chairs burned up. There was a big fire in our other house. All of our chairs burned. So did our sofa, and so did everything else. That wasn't such a long time ago. My mother and I were coming home from buying new shoes. I had new sandals and she had new pumps. We were walking to our house from the bus and we were looking at everyone's tulips. She was saying she liked red tulips and I was saying I liked yellow ones. And then we came to our block. Right outside our house stood 2 big fire engines. I could see lots of smoke. Tall orange flames came out of the roof. All the neighbors stood in a bunch across the street. My mother grabbed my hand and we ran. My Uncle Sandy saw us and ran to us. And Mama yelled, "Where's Mother?" And I yelled, "Where's my grandma?" My Aunt Ida waved and shouted, "She's here, she's okay, don't worry." Grandma was all right. Our cat was safe too, though it took a while to find her. But everything else in our whole house was spoiled. What was left of the house was turned to charcoal and ashes. We went to stay with my mother's sister, Aunt Ida, and Uncle Sandy. Then we were able to move into the apartment downstairs. We painted the walls yellow, the floors were all shiny, but the rooms were very empty. The first day we moved in, the neighbors brought pizza and cake and ice cream. And they brought a lot of other things too. The family across the street brought a table and 3 kitchen chairs. The very old man next door gave us a bed from when his children were little. My other grandpa brought us his beautiful rug. My mother's other sister, Sally, had made us red and white curtains. Mama's boss, Josephine, brought pots and pans, silverware and dishes. My cousin brought me her own stuffed bear. Everyone clapped when my grandma made a speech. "You are all the kindest people," she said, "and we thank you very, very much. It's lucky we're young and can start all over." That was last year, but we still have no sofa and no big chairs. When Mama comes home, her feet hurt. "There's no good place for me to take a load off my feet," she says. And when Grandma wants to sit back and hum and cut up potatoes, she has to get as comfortable as she can on a hard kitchen chair. So that is how come Mama brought home the biggest jar that she could find at the diner. And all the coins started to go into the jar. Now the jar is too heavy for me to lift down. Uncle Sandy gave me a quarter. He had to boost me up so I could put it in. After supper, Mama and Grandma and I stood in front of the jar. "Well, I never would have believed it, but I guess it's full," Mama said. My mother brought home little paper wrappers for the nickels and the dimes and the quarters. I counted them all out and wrapped them all up. On my Mother's Day off, we took all the coins to the bank. The bank exchanged them for $10 bills. Then we took the bus downtown to shop for our chair. We shopped through 4 furniture stores. We tried out big chairs and small ones, high chairs and low chairs, soft chairs and harder ones. Grandma said she felt like Goldilocks in the 3 Bears, trying out all the chairs. Finally, we found the chair we were all dreaming of. And the money in the jar was enough to pay for it. We called Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy, and they came right down in their pickup truck to drive the chair home for us. They knew that we couldn't wait for it to be delivered. I tried our chair in the back of the truck. Mama wouldn't let me sit there while we drove, but they let me sit in it while they carried it up to the door. We set the chair right beside the window with the red and white curtains. Grandma and Mama and I all sat in it while Aunt Ida took our picture. Now Grandma sits in it and talks with people going by in the daytime. And Mama sits down and watches the news on TV when she comes home from her job. After supper, I sit with her, and she can reach right up and turn out the light if I fall asleep on her lap. And I hope that you can cuddle up with somebody that you love in your family and just enjoy time being together. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.